I'm lucky enough to be in Thomas Newman's studio. I don't want to call you a movie director, you're more of a movie creator. What you're working on right now, Bong of the Dead, you've done everything. I mean, you've built it from the ground up. What would you say sort of encompasses every single position you've done?
It's crazy because, I mean, where to start? There are so many credits that I had to basically give to myself, or positions that I had to fill. It was kind of like multiple personalities. You know what I mean? At one point, when I was in pre-production, I was doing my storyboard, so I was a storyboard artist. And then when I was writing it, I was a writer, of course, and then producing at the same time and directing. But when I got into post-production, it was like a world of, you know, not just editing. Editing is not just, you know, it's just cutting the film. That was one side of it, but then the visual effects side of it. Visual effects artist, compositor, animator, getting into 3D, so just, you know, it just snowballed from there, so a lot. I consider a filmmaker, I guess.
What's it like to see a movie from all those different angles?
It's really cool, actually. I mean, I've always kind of been versed in it anyways, but to actually fill those positions and do them is, I think, the best type of experience one can have, because you understand the full scope of a production, you know what I mean? So when it comes to doing, of course, budgeted films and then having the crew to fill those positions that I had to play, I'll understand more. You know what I mean? I'll know their limitations, or I'll know what I can expect of them, type of thing. So it's cool. I really like that.
So it's definitely an advantage. Right?
It's an advantage. I mean, it's a lot of work, but if you get through it without dying, it's really cool, for sure.
I've watched a couple of the previews online for Bong of the Dead. For those who haven't, can you give me a bit of a plot rundown?
Yeah, sure. Basically, Bong of the Dead is a post-apocalyptic film after a zombie outbreak, whereas the infection begins with a meteor, or a few meteor crashes from outer space and everything, right? So once the infection starts, basically we follow two guys who are a couple of stoner buddies, kind of like Harold and Kumar, or Cheech and Chong, who basically, since the zombie outbreak, have nothing better to do than to grow lots of weed and smoke weed and party and drink, because the world's ended. What else are you going to do, right? So, but one of them, basically, the Edwin character, discovers how to grow really potent marijuana by using zombie brains as fertilizer. But the problem is, since the government's cleared out all the zombies, they don't have enough brains to basically create the substance they need to grow more weed, so they have to go on a road trip. So it's kind of an adventure movie at the same time. So once they go on this road trip, they kind of meet other characters along the way, and then end up teaming up with another, you know, kind of the hot, welding, tough, good-looking girl in the film, and together they kick some ass and basically grow more weed.
How did you come up with the idea?
Smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Well, no, I was trying to, initially I was going to do a slasher film, but then one of my really good friends, who's also the producer on this, Mike Fields, and the makeup artist, he suggested, he said, hey man, look, I got a lot of like body parts and severed heads, arms, and zombie makeup in my shed. He's like, I've been collecting this stuff for years.
That sounds so creepy.
I know, but that's the industry, right? That's what he has. And he said, look, why don't we do a zombie film? He's like, why don't you just write a zombie film, because all the makeup will come to it for free, and this is industry standard stuff, right? So I was like, you know what, that's a really good idea. I just wanted to go with something that had a large cult demographic market, you know what I mean? Going after the pot smokers, people who like Cheech and Chong or Harold and Kumar would like this, zombie fans, and you know, the stuff that appealed to me at the same time. Right, so I did something that I really liked, and then at the same time, lo and behold, there's a huge market for it anyways, right? So why not do what you love and get to the point you're trying to get to? So that's why I decided to do a film that's very marketable and fun.
You've basically made what's going to be a feature film with $5,000.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's the big, I guess, hook in this film. I spent $5,000 only. Those three elements is what make this, not only, I mean, it's a unique film, it's cool, but that backstory to it is really important for people to realize that I didn't have a huge studio budget, I didn't have a huge crew. Definitely when it got to post-production, it was me, my Mac, and a lot of hours. And the way I did that was basically, I was able to get interest from people that are either in the industry or bring on friends and bring family on, so I didn't have to pay anybody, right? It was basically proving to them that what I wanted to do was worth being involved in, And I did that by doing a quick little piece that I shot with 3 zombies only, kind of coming out of this tunnel. And then I put it on YouTube, and people started watching it going, oh yeah, and then based on that, I was able to start recruiting, right? And letting people know right off the bat, being honest, like, look, I don't have money, I only have $5,000, and that's for the film itself. But check out this YouTube video I did. If you like that, you can be involved, and if you don't, then thanks for considering it. And people loved it, so I got a huge response, so I was able to crew up and get that part of it out of the way, and it worked.
Was it that and using your former network contacts that got you people such as Michael Roberts, who's probably most famously known as Uncle Fester from the New Addams Family?
Yeah, it kind of snowballed from there again, basically, because Mike Fields, who did the makeup, came on board. He used to work on the Addams Family as well, right? And Mike and I have always been friends for a very long time. So having somebody like that who's basically a celebrity makeup artist, I mean, he did Narnia 1, Narnia 2, so he's got really good skills, and that's what we wanted to set apart too. Just because you do a $5,000 film and it's an indie film doesn't mean it should look like it, right? So I never set out to do a film where it's like, well, you know, who cares, we only got $5 grand, let's just make it, you know what I mean? I always treated it like a studio picture and tried to give it its best. So yeah, with Mike coming on board, then he was able to bring on Michael Roberts, and then I gave it, you know, a cool little cameo scene. That's pretty gross. I don't want to discuss it. It's something that once you see, I think you'll enjoy.
Watching the previews, it looks pretty gruesome. Not only visually, but your sound effects. There's a part where the guy is making the robot, and he sticks the head on the robot, and just that splatter noise.
Oh, that squishy.
Yeah. How did you get that?
Well, I have a huge library of sound effects to begin with, but when it came to actually, another interesting point about the film itself, actually, it was 100% ADR in this studio right here, and this is in a professional studio. So the whole film, 100% of the audio that's on it is fake, including actors' dialogue. So it was like, for an independent film to go to that level is ridiculous, but what that allows us to do is have complete control of every sound and be able to mix it in 5.1, which again is something that normally you can't even come close to affording for $5 grand. But because the way we did it, just plotting it out and thinking through it, we were able to pull it off. So we were actually squishing oranges and grapes and, you know what I mean, stuff like that to even bring on more gross sounds to the library.
What object, I guess, do you think sounded the best for what you wanted? Oranges,
especially because the peel too, just that sound of a peel coming apart, it's pretty gross. Pretty gross.
Now you took just 15 days to shoot the movie.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm used to, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of feature films are usually done around 15 to 18 days anyways, right? So treating it that way, again, I'm like, I don't need any more days than other films do, so I'm just going to stick to this schedule. I'm going to set 15 days aside and go to it and pull crazy hours, of course, right? So with the crew, I told them right off the bat, expect, even though I know nobody's getting paid, I need you guys to commit to at least 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing. Again, trying to do a film with no budget, not paying people. If you get all the bullshit out of the way up front, quite honestly, it's a lot easier. If you hide things from people that tell them, oh yeah, it's going to be 8-hour days, then you get people who are angry because now they go into 10 hours and that's too much. But if you tell people right off the bat, expect to do 12-hour days minimal, then you come into it with a lot, because if you wrap up in 10, you're the hero. Everybody's happy, you know what I mean? But if you go over, then people get grumpy. So pulled it off by just sticking to a schedule. I set up 15 days and I storyboard every single one of my shots. So I don't actually ever shoot anything without storyboarding. That's really important. So having the whole thing storyboarded, having the script broken down, and being involved, again, the bonus of doing it all yourself, it's just like, who else do you talk to? You know what I mean? It's just like, you have everything plotted out and you can see all the pieces at all times instead of sending something off, waiting for it to come back and da-da-da-da-da. That slows things down, in my opinion. So by doing that and being very meticulous, we were able to pull it off in 15 days straight.